Yo, welcome back to the live stream. It's your boy Tokyo Stoner, and today we're going to be exploring another lore theory of mine. This is a concept that Sephiroth, at the height of his power, when he transforms in the original Final Fantasy VII, he is able in that point to access other dimensions or cross dimensions, and is aware of alternate dimensions, which also opens up the idea of timelines. And I want to explore how Knights of the Round potentially utilizes time travel to allow for the summons of those knights to take place. So if you've been playing the remake, obviously spoilers, so be prepared. But yeah, if you've played the remake and you've got to the end, I'm sure you've seen how this game has a lot of talk about time travel, alternate dimensions, alternate timelines, the ability to see fate, perceive your future, change fate, etc., etc. Especially with Sephiroth and Aerith, who seem to be the characters that are the most aware of their ability to alter their fate and to be aware of their futures. For example, Sephiroth, he blocks the Omni Slash and says not yet, as if he knows that that's part of his future. Aerith as well makes references to there's things that have to be done. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. We're going to watch this Sephiroth Supernova attack. So if you're not familiar, in the original, when you're fighting Sephiroth in his final form, he has an attack called Supernova. Now, this is the attack that I believe crosses dimensions. So let's have a quick look at it, and then we're going to talk about it and look at some little text boxes and stuff. So yeah, let's go. Right, so look here. You see the way the screen breaks away? That's very similar to the Knights of the Round summon. And I'm going to pull that back even. Part of my theory, let me get this mouse rolling. Part of my theory is that at this point, when you see the glass shatter, that's when you enter the alternate dimension. Like, this is high level magic. This thing here, I believe this is high level magic, and that's when you break one reality and open another. I know that some people say that this is an illusion, but I'm going to show you some texts and stuff like that, and like some quotes from Kitase that say otherwise. See, apparently this attack is actually taking place in an alternate dimension, and the attack is so powerful that the damage bleeds through into the same dimension that the characters are in. That's why they receive damage. So this Supernova, you can see it's on another level. It travels through galaxies, and we're going to watch it destroy the solar system, which I'm sure can't be happening in the same reality that the characters are in, because their whole solar system would be thrown into disarray, right? And also, this attack can happen multiple times in the fight, which makes me think each time it must be happening in a different dimension, right? So this is in the original. So I mean, when I first finished the remake, I was a bit like, oh man, what's all of this time travel ridiculousness? Alternate dimensions. But when you look back at the original and you see some of the things they were showing us, you can see, look at what Sephiroth's doing here. This is a god level attack. There's no summon in the game with an attack on this level, apart from perhaps Knights of the Round. But even them, they don't look at that. I mean, it's a sun just destroying planets. Do you get what I mean? And I mean, you could say this is an illusion and it's not really happening, but if this is not an illusion, Sephiroth is causing this to happen in an alternate dimension, right? I mean, maybe there's a reason why he can't cause this in our dimension or in the one that's happening in game. Because if he could, you presume maybe he'd do this instead of summoning Meteor. But either way, it opens the door up to a lot of discussion. And look how it doesn't harm Sephiroth, and you're going to see it damages the characters, but not enough to kill them, right? So that's why you say that the damage is bleed through damage. It's not actual damage, because if that was actual damage, of course they'd be destroyed in an instant, right? But yeah, super interesting, that attack, eh? Especially, I want to just go back and show that the splitting animation in here, right? This animation. I think this is really important. Alright, so just to support my theory here, I'm going to show you this. This is from the FF7 wiki. So Supernova ability, they're talking about the move we just watched. In Dissidia, right, in the menu description it says, a blast of such despair that it can send destruction even into other dimensions, right? Supernova, also known as Supernova and Sunburst, is a recurring enemy ability. It generally deals a large amount of non-elemental magic damage to all opponents. Same spell move several times, yada yada yada. But yeah, such despair can send destruction even into other dimensions. Keyword dimensions, right? And obviously in the remake, there's a heavy focus on alternate dimensions. So I got one more to take a look at here. This is guys chatting on Reddit. So you got Extra Ore and you got Shadow Sphere. These guys are talking about trying to, find out, is supernova an illusion or is it real? And they said, look, best I found is in Dissidia, like the link I just found there. Bleed through damage in another dimension. And this guy here, that would make more sense. In Crisis Core, Zack is pulled into separate dimensions by summons before the fight starts, right? So I want to quickly take a look at that. We were going to go straight to Knights of the Round, but I think after reading that, let's take a look at this video. This is pretty low res, but again, it should get the point across, so let's check it out. We're just going to skip through so we can see the relevant parts. This is Crisis Core. This is Zack. If you don't know, this is Zack in Crisis Core. We're going to see him now. He's going to meet Ifrit. So Ifrit appears as an orb, and Zack's now transported to an alternate dimension. Do you see that symbol? Very similar to the symbol that we saw in Sephiroth's supernova attack, right? It's important to pay attention to the symbols used. So look, now Zack is in an alternate dimension, or in like a god space. He may be in the same dimension, but not in the same space, right? So when we're talking about manipulating reality, you want to consider like space, time, dimensions. Regardless of what dimension this is taking place in, this is definitely a different space to where he was. I'm going to skip it forward so we can see the ending of this. Right, so Zack's just defeated Ifrit. Cool. Or I guess not. But yeah, Sephiroth shows up. How did Sephiroth access this space or this dimension without being invited? So Ifrit, who's a god, remember, in the lore, has created this space to combat Zack. And Sephiroth has interrupted this space and broken into it, right? So he's showing, even at this point, way before the original Final Fantasy VII even takes place, that he's aware of alternate spaces, times, and dimensions, and that he can directly interact with them, right? All right, cool. So let's get on to Knights of the Round. This is the last video we're going to watch for the Explore. Let's go. Now I'm going to show you some text later and stuff that Kitase said, but it's been confirmed supposedly by Kitase that these knights, they're not Cetra or Ancients, these are the actual Knights of the Round, and the final knight that attacks will be King Arthur, right? So all of these knights pulling up with these OP attacks, they're all the different knights. I forget the names, but Lancelot, etc, etc. Man, this summon is so cool. And again, giving credence to the fact that time travel and dimension manipulation is a very OP ability. This is the final summon you receive in the game, right? And you don't even receive it normally. You have to go out of your way to get it. And look at the graphics in the background and how similar they are to Sephiroth's attack. Like how galactic they appear and, a lot of similarities here. Okay, cool. Now here we go with King Arthur. So, how long ago were the Knights of the Round Table, right? That's my concept. Okay. Look at the dimension, Shatter, and how similar that was to Sephiroth's. Right? As if for these moves, for the supernova attack and for the Knights of the Round, you're transported into an alternate space or dimension, just like what Ifrit did to Zack. I'm gonna watch that one more time. That was so tight. Yeah? Just to bring it right home. Look at that. Look at that. You hear me? Sephiroth uses it to enter you into it, and Knights of the Round use it to break you back out. But I think that that's real interesting stuff there, man, that I didn't consider necessarily on my first complete of the remake. But definitely after sitting down, looking at the original, looking at the remake, thinking about stuff, I checked that and I'm like, wow. So anyway, here's some points for you. This is again from the Wikipedia, Final Fantasy, not the Wikipedia, sorry, the FF7 fan wiki. Though not stated in the game, the final knight in Knights of the Round, this is King Arthur, and he has a grander entrance and attack. King Arthur attacks with the weapon Excalibur. Director Yoshinori Kitase confirmed that despite fan theories, the Knights of the Round are not the Cetra sealed away by Genova. Bow. So that's time travel. Right in the middle of the original Final Fantasy VII. There's time travel in the game. So if, you know, a lot of people are with it, but if anyone felt like, oh no, you know, they're breaking law, they're just forcing things into the game, I was surprised. I had to take time and look at it and really check it out. But when I did check it, I was like, wow, time travel is referenced and is acknowledged in the original game, and you use it to summon Knights of the Round, because there's no way King Arthur live in modern times. He's being summoned from the past, right? And supernova is, again, damage maybe being done actively, but in another dimension, right? Again, even in supernova, I was just thinking perhaps Sephiroth isn't the cause of the supernova. Perhaps he's just accessing specific points in time where this supernova took place or whatever, and he's using that to attack the enemy. Perhaps even the future, right? Perhaps he's accessing the future to damage Cloud. All right, cool. One more I want to look at. This is leaning, for me, I don't feel like this is necessarily confirmed, but this is cool to chat to because it leads into my next theory video, which is going to be connecting Final Fantasy 15 and 7 worlds as like a single thing. I feel like they referenced it in 15, and there's even more references in 7, like the Marlboro and stuff like that, being called the Ancient Beast. But yeah, let's just read this out. The Knights of the Round appear in Final Fantasy 15 universe as the spirits of former kings of Lucis. They reside within the King of the Lucii, passing on their powers and knowledge to new kings that inherit the ring. Blah, blah, blah. They talk about the statues being created and stuff, but that's not so relevant to our point. What I think is relevant is that they're the spirits of former kings, right? The Final Fantasy 7 fan wiki says that the Knights of the Round appear in Final Fantasy 15. I've never seen it explicitly be said that that's what they are, but I always felt like that they were at least a reference to the Knights of the Round. So I think, again, you want to see that in 15, the Knights of the Round are used through time travel, right? Like their presence, them being able to exist in the modern by giving Noctis their weapons, or being able to appear at the end, or being able to possess the statues, that's like a form of cross-dimensional time travel manipulation, or being able to keep their consciousness alive long after their physical bodies passed, right? And yeah, cool. Final Fantasy 15, time travel. Like I said, this one's a little bit off the rails, but the rest of it I feel like is pretty airtight. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think about it in the comments. Like I said, Knights of the Round using time travel. Sephiroth out here using alternate dimensions in the original game. Let me know what you think. I'd like to see some comments. I'd love to have a discussion. Make sure you drop a like if you found the video interesting. I'm on Twitch. That's Tokyo Stoner. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Tokyo Stoner, as well. Like, it's, you know, there's a lot of everything's organized, everything's nice over there. I'm sorting out some playlists and stuff. And then check out my music channel. That's Light Codes Music. I hope you enjoyed, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Take care of yourselves. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Nothing but money on my mind. She says she love me, love is blind. She ride it up and down and then rewind. When we fuck, it gets better every time. I got 2 bad bitches by my side. I tell my ops don't even try. Anytime I lift, I let it fly. Come down and put 2 spirits in the sky. Hit your block and put some spirits on the floor. Niggas know I got a lot, but I need more. Nowadays, all my guap is kept offshore. Stash box, I got a couple keys of raw. Whoa, the weed is Arabian, burning it down like a Sabian. I'm coming down to the stadium, rolling with angels and aliens. There's only real ones in my radius. Everyone here know my alias. I'm coming down to the stadiums, rolling with angels and aliens. She take it straight to the face, laughing all of the way to the bank. Pardon, I take it straight to the face, pull up and parking. Jump out the spaceship, step over your carcass. When you look around, you see killers and carnage. My niggas is Martians, yeah, we live and die by the stardom. Even when we're in the darkness, you know we stay lit regardless. All of your bitches, they love me, all of your hatred is harmless. Only the gods can judge me, yeah. Even when we're in the darkness, you know we stay lit regardless. All of your bitches, they love me, all of your hating is harmless.